Hi, all you beautiful, amazing, intelligent people out there. How are you doing today? It's your friendly neighborhood Victor here with another video that's going to be just a little bit different. Um, what's different about it is I am going to, instead of messaging people on YouTube and talking it out, I'm going to make a video of it. And I'm starting with this fellow named, I'm going to be talking with Hobgobbity. This is my first video message. I don't know if he's going to watch it or not. Hi, Hobgobbity. How's it going? We've been going at it back and forth on this video. Let me see if I can real quick pick it up. The video is called "This Beloved Hymn Has a Darker Origin Story" by Dietrich. Everybody else, you can feel free to take a look at it. I found it pretty interesting. Anyway, so I'm talking to this guy Hobgobbity, who kind of jumped into the conversation, and I messaged another dude who said he's not religious, basically, and I asked him a question. I said, "Do you know what will happen in the afterlife?" Question mark. Might be important to learn the truth now before it's too late to do anything about it, because we know that our life is fragile. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. There's thousands of people that died today. How do you know it's not going to be you? Just because a person is young, for example, doesn't mean they're going to live forever. Even young, unfortunately, even young people die. So I feel like it's really important for us to know what's going to happen in the afterlife. Anyway, that's the reason, and that's what I said. But Hobgobbity jumps in and says, let me see. Oh, here you go. Yeah. He says, fear mongering to scare people into a flawed religion. So weird. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't bother with message with this guy, you Hobgobbity, because I wasn't even talking to you originally. You just kind of bounced in here, but you said so weird. Anyway, we had this whole back and forth. I'm not going to go through with that, or otherwise this is going to be like a 20-minute video of me trying to read our conversation, which would be a lot shorter, but I would like be analyzing it and probably overdoing the whole thing. So I'm just going to skip to the end of our last thing here, what we've said so far. And the last thing I said is, I don't have to prove anything to you, because he was talking about burden of proof, it was lies on me, blah blah blah. Why that is, I don't know. I already explained why it's not fear mongering what I was doing, because I brought a couple of examples. For example, if there's a blind person just walking and not seeing the edge of a cliff, and somebody tells them, hey, watch out, you don't want to walk in that direction without knowing what's going on. Maybe you want to turn around. That's not fear mongering. Or if there's a bus driving and a person who loves music's got their headphones on, bobbing to the music full blast, crossing the street, and there's a truck in the running that's going to run them over, and somebody just rushes into them and crashes them to save them, and they fall down sprawling on the ground, and their knees and arms and everything gets bruised. That's not fear mongering. Anyway, that's where we would have ended the conversation, but apparently this person thinks he's right. So we were doing a back and forth. I'm not going to go into that. It's already been 4 minutes into this. But here we go. Finally, I'm going to read the last message that I wrote and his response to it. So I said, I don't have to prove anything to you. It sounds like you haven't thought about your beliefs or what axioms must be true in order to understand and to do science. We're talking about things like uh, something people rarely think about, but probably, especially if they want to think about science, they probably should think about it. It's not something apparently that's taught in school, or at least I don't remember learning about it. But basically, our mind, our thoughts need to be rationally and logically thinking machines, really, really complex machines, but in order to understand anything, to comprehend anything, and the universe that we are in cannot be chaotic, which means lawless, without rules, without laws, or just pure randomness. Otherwise, it would be incomprehensible to a logical, rational mind. So the universe has to be ordered, which we do actually see in science. But those are assumptions that must be first made, and a lot of people don't even think how those have to be true. The other thing that has to be true is if we're trying to do science, then we're looking for something that is true, for a raw law, for something that can be explained, that can be repeated, kind of like gravity, which is a really popular go-to. You know, we don't see gravity, but we can see its effects. So the law of gravity exists. We don't see gravity, but we know that the law exists because things fall down, or the law of inertia. Anyway, um, the point is there are truth, there's order in reality. You have to have that assumption in order to do science. It's just the basis. It's just the axiom. If you haven't thought this things through, you'll probably be an atheist. Anyway, these axioms, by the way, must be, a person has to believe. They have to just assume that it's true, even though you can't really scientifically prove. How do you know your mind is rationally thinking and understanding reality? How do you know that? Um, this is I don't know. This is perhaps philosophy 101. Who knows? But yeah, if you're going to be talking about science, you're going to have to start learning about how everything in this world that you see, that your mind thinks that it understands, uh, you start with beliefs. You believe that your hand can sense things, your eyes can see things, um, and then you go feel that, touch the tree or whatever. Oh yes, it can. Um, your senses work properly. There's limits to your senses. We can't see atoms. We can't see Pluto with the naked eye, stuff like that. All right, off to this person's comment. Hobgobbity. You're saying you haven't thought about your beliefs because you're incapable of having an honest conversation about them. That's a good one. Honest conversation is I'm the one. It's me who is incapable of having an honest conversation. Yeah, so he thinks I'm lying. Like, why would I believe in a lie? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would a person believe in a lie? I'm pretty sure a person, if they believe in the truth, then they want to share it and they want to talk about it. That's how that works. So anyway, but here we go. Incapable. I am unable to have a conversation, honest conversation. Unable, incapable. Yeah, that's you're throwing around some serious accusations there, buddy. If I'm incapable, then what are you doing even talking to me? It sounds like the incapable one is somebody else. The burden of proof is entirely on the Bible. Okay. It's making otherworldly claims. Yeah, there's a lot of historical data that, if it wasn't in history, might not be believable. There's a lot of historical archaeology, like the pyramids, that modern day people are still amazed. How are those things made? Um, with old world technology, how did they do those? Move those, create chisel those huge stones and move them, hundreds of miles or however many, pile them up on each other in that specific way. People are still amazed. How is that? If it was just in the books and nobody saw those pyramids, there's a high chance that a lot of people would be denying that it ever happened. So, making otherworldly claims above anything else without proving them. Especially since it can't even stand on its own legs. Unless you're a gullible fool, you should not dedicate your life to something that you can't even give a reason for believing. I have my reasons. Sir, I have my reasons. You don't like my reasons, maybe you don't trust my reasons, but that is not exactly my problem. Saying every house must. Oh! Finally, you're referring to something I'm talking about. Okay, let's see here. Saying every house must be made entirely of bricks, or no, not quite, or the big bad wolf will come blow it down. Oh, okay. Well, strawmanning what I said. Great. Saying every house must be made entirely out of bricks, or the big bad wolf will come blow it down isn't a warning. Did you read what I said? Neither is telling people to prepare for the worst when they die based on a fairy tale. You think it's a fairy tale. That's your opinion, bro. A religion that bases itself on the idea of either stroking a god's ego or being tortured for all of eternity is fear-based manipulation. You're looping back around again and dodging the entire conversation. I'm not. You're completely incapable of having an honest conversation. I'm done wasting my time trying to reason with a child in a cult. Grow up. Sir, hi, how's it going? Do I look like a child to you? Nope. Nope. Um, let's just say that a person who is an atheist has no idea why this world is logical, why rules exist. By the way, atheists tend to be materialists, but they cannot explain the laws of the universe. Even if they say, oh, time and random processes created the universe and created life, where did the laws come from? Who's holding those laws? What power is holding those laws? There seem to be very, very, very specific laws, and there are a ton of them that we're figuring out. Laws of physics, thermodynamics, chemistry, biology, how DNA works, genetics. Um, Everything is just, there's so much to science, and people are like, oh yeah, time and random processes, as if big bang boom and everything. Where have you seen an explosion that created something ordered, something as simple as a piece of ceramic, like a jar? I don't know what else is simpler than that. A marble. Make a big bang and create a marble. Or No idea how inanimate matter can have life. We got no clue how that happened in science, and yet atheists believe it. Yeah, the grounding foundation of your belief, Mr. Hobgobbity, is gobbledygook. Okay, I've looked into it, and there's more. There's more reasons to why I believe the way I believe it, and why I criticize the atheist belief as being unfounded and unscientific and illogical. Thank you, sir. Hope you have a good day. Peace out, and have fun storming the castle.